The Game of Power, Lesson 3. Part 3. The Power of the Sheep's Skin. Power wears many faces, but the most dangerous one is the face that looks like yours. The master deceiver doesn't walk into the room with fireworks. He doesn't shout, flaunt, or exaggerate. No, he slips in quietly, wearing the most familiar mask, one that doesn't raise alarms, one that blends, one that disarms you without a single word. This is the power of the smokescreen. You see, real deception is not flashy. It's not colourful. It's not a grand, theatrical lie. It's soft, it's subtle. It looks just like routine, just like business, just like kindness. It's the calm smile, the polite nod, the appearance of normalcy while behind the curtain, something entirely different is unfolding. And the best part, you'll never even know. The secret is simple. People can only focus on one thing at a time. They are limited in their attention, and even more limited in their imagination. Once they believe they've seen you, once they think they understand your role, your purpose, your demeanour, they stop looking deeper. They fill in the rest of the picture themselves. And that's when your move becomes invisible. The yellow kid knew this. He didn't try to impress his mark with a spectacle of deception. He didn't open with a fake boxing match. He opened with a business deal. Something simple, something familiar, something a retired millionaire could wrap his head around. It gave the con a solid floor, a boring front door. It made the man relax. But while the mark leaned into the illusion of profit, the trap was already being built beneath his feet. And when it sprung, it was too late. This is how deception really works. It uses what's familiar, what's trusted, what's boring. You blend in with the background while you do the extraordinary in the shadows. Selassie used it brilliantly, with a smile so gentle it looked harmless, with words so respectful they seemed submissive. He disarmed a mighty warlord and dismantled his entire army without firing a single bullet. The warlord thought he was in control because Selassie played the role perfectly. He gave the illusion of weakness, submission, respect. But behind that sheepish smile was the grin of a lion. This is the paradox of true power. The less threatening you seem, the more dangerous you become. The smokescreen can take many forms. The simplest? Your face, your expression. Franklin D. Roosevelt was said to have a mask so unreadable, no one could guess his intentions. Henry Kissinger lulled world leaders to sleep with his monotone voice and tedious dialogue, then slipped in terms that shifted entire balances of power. The poker player knows it too. The good one never acts. He doesn't give tells. He doesn't flinch. He becomes a blank page, and that blankness becomes a fortress. Then there's the noble gesture. People want to believe in goodness. They want to believe in noble intent. They want to feel that someone powerful is also generous. So when they see an act that appears selfless, they drop their guard. That's when the trap is most effective. Joseph Duveen, the art dealer to America's wealthy elite, understood this perfectly. His millionaire clients were running out of wall space, and worse, taxes on inherited art were growing. That could have destroyed his entire business model. But Duveen saw the problem as an opportunity. He helped launch the National Gallery of Art, not just as a gift to the public, but as a sanctuary for his clients' collections. A tax haven, a move that opened space on their walls and limited the supply of available masterpieces, driving prices higher. It looked like generosity. It was pure strategy. Another smokescreen? The pattern. Human beings are slaves to it. If someone does something once, we take note. Twice, we predict. 3 times, we relax. That's when the blow lands. Jay Gould, the American tycoon, used this to perfection. He built rival companies only to sell them to Western Union. They thought he just wanted to be bought out. So when he started again, they assumed they'd pay him off once more. But this time he flipped the game. He didn't want to be bought, he wanted to take over. And he did. Patterns lull people, then you break them and they can't recover. Another illusion? Belonging. In the Cold War, some of Britain's most trusted civil servants were spies. They looked the part. They had the right accents, the right schooling, the right suits. They spoke the language of loyalty, and that was enough. No one suspected a thing. The lesson is brutal. Appearances are everything. If you look the part, you become invisible. If you blend in, no one sees the blade you carry. It takes discipline to be bland. It takes strength to downplay your charm, your brilliance, your edge. But the more you do it, the more powerful you become. Because now you're unreadable. Now you are underestimated. And in the world of power, there is no greater weapon than being misjudged. You wear the sheep's skin. You look harmless, dull, boring. And then when the gate opens, you strike like the fox you've always been. But beware, even the smokescreen has its limits. If you build a reputation for deception, if people know you as the trickster, the schemer, the manipulator, your blandness becomes suspicious. Your silence becomes a signal. In these moments, the mask no longer works. That's when you change the script. You own your reputation. Like P.T. Barnum, you become the charming rogue. You let people laugh at the con, because now the con is part of the entertainment. When people expect to be fooled and you deliver it with flair, they admire you for it. That too is power. But even Barnum knew, showmanship has a shelf life. The act grows old, the magic fades. So you must always be ready to switch masks. The flamboyant smokescreen, the colour, the noise, the spectacle, it works, but only for a moment. Charlatans had to move town to town because the illusion only lasted until someone looked too closely. But the Talleyrans, the Rothschilds, the Selassies, they stayed in place. For years, for decades. Because their power came not from being seen, but from being unreadable. That is the highest level of deception. The most powerful man in the room is not the loudest. He is the quiet one, the one who listens more than he speaks, the one who smiles while others boast, the one whose actions are never quite what they seem. That is who you must become. A master of disguise, a ghost in broad daylight, the calm, bland presence they never suspect until it's too late. This is how wars are won before the first shot is fired. This is how kingdoms fall without a single rebellion. This is how you dominate without appearing to dominate. Conceal your intentions behind silence, behind politeness, behind patterns, gestures, and smiles. Win the game without ever showing you are playing. This is the final lesson of Law 3. The one who moves unseen moves with the greatest force. End of Lesson 3, Part 3.